Boopy doop. Minecraft Origins is coming back, baby. Origins SMP is back today, as of recording this at least, and I am super pumped to see them play with some of the newer Origins. Hopefully, fingers crossed. In the meantime though, I bring you another well-made Origin with a slightly darker theme, and of course, I'll be giving it a score out of 10 at the very end of this video. Don't you go anywhere. Now, the Deep Whisperer Origin is a recently released Origin created by Raid the Web, who is an admin in my Discord who helps me out a lot with managing the SMP, so of course I'm going to be reviewing it, and the download for this Origin can be found in the Origins Discord. As always, that is linked below. Now, moving to your first ability, Deep Rift, which is activated by your load toolbar activator key. You can create a rift to an alternate reality known as Deep Space, where your kind has lived for millennium. It's a sparse environment, uninhabitable to those who aren't used to the harsh living conditions, but not for you. You're a Deep Whisperer. Rich with resources like coal, copper, and iron, this is your own personal world for you to rule and do whatever you please here. And despite what some people might say about dimensional-based Origins, I love this quite a lot. Your next ability is Dark Form, and it is activated by your primary key. Your kind has lived in a sparse environment for a long time and have learned to channel their power into an effective form of travel. Unfortunately, this will cause you to wither away slowly during use. Some of my long-term viewers might notice that this is pretty similar to Zadroit's Cursed Mist ability, and I was a huge fan of that one, so of course I'm a huge fan of this. And it's nice, you can't overuse it or you'll end up dying, so you do have a limit on it, but you can just phase through things and fly around as you wish. Really love this ability a lot. Baka. You thought it was the next ability, but it was me, Shillman, here to tell you about my new channel memberships. You see, kids, running a server costs money, and last time I checked, I'm not Jeff Bezos, so that's where you come in. By becoming a channel member today, you can help me keep the SMP server running, and in return, you get to have a special Saturn emoji next to your name, and you get a shout out in every video. That's some money well spent, yeah? Heck yeah, and it's only $1, so you should totally become a channel member. It'll get those happy chemicals flooding in that brain of yours.
But Saturn, I'm poor.
Fret not, small child. Simply leaving a like is plenty support on your own. This has been Shillman, and now we resume our regularly scheduled programming. Your next ability is Handworker. Your race has an affinity with tinkering to survive and can repair tools in exchange for your life force, and I really like this ability a lot because you can have a netherite pick on 1 durability and it just heals it all the way up to full, and it does take a lot of hearts, so I would recommend that you're in deep space before you do this, but other than that you'll be perfectly fine, and you no longer have to worry about mending because mending is such a pain to get. I'm a huge fan of this ability. We have Deep Affinity, and this gives you some neat buffs while you're in deep space, those being Saturation and Speed 2 at all times, meaning that you never really need to eat while you're in deep space, and you can strategically use this so that if you're in a pinch and you don't have food in the overworld, you can just hop over to deep space, get filled up, and then come back with full saturation. The highlighted hunger chunks there is showing the saturation because by default Minecraft does not show that. That is a mod, so you'll have full saturation at all times, you never need to eat, and you're really fast here, which is a nice touch. Now we've reached the downsides of this Origin, but before I get into that, I would just like to go ahead and mention that if you would like, you may join the SMP that I run. To join, you just need to be in the Discord. The requirements have been waived for the next few days, and that's still going on, so if you would like to join a server with some pretty friendly people and just chill with us, feel free to join. The link to my Discord will be in the description below. Your first drawback is poisoned air. The air in the overworld is poisonous to your race, but as a half-human you can survive the worst of it, and this gives you permanent slowness in the overworld and damage every so often. As always, with great abilities bring about some heavy drawbacks, but I think this one is well thought out, and provided you already have deep space and flight and all of that, it only makes sense. I think this is a very good way to balance it. And chugging right along to foreign tools, basically you can't use shields or a crossbow, but also you cannot use an elytra either, because why would you? You can fly, and yeah, there's not much else to say here. But also, can we just take the time to appreciate that the skeleton spawned in with like almost full enchanted gold armor? I'm not sure what the odds of that are, but that was pretty cool. last but certainly not least, there's harsh sun. You're not used to the sun as there's only a moon-like sun in your overworld, or homeworld I should say, which means in the daylight you burn and you must be in the shade or water. In its current state, you cannot counteract this with a helmet. I'll go into detail about how I would change this in the outro while I'll give my final score. Oh, also, you have an ability called Tether, but honestly, I'm not sure how it works. I don't really respawn in deep space after dying, so I think it might be bugged, or maybe I'm just doing something wrong. I could just be having a small brain moment as per normal, but I couldn't get this one to work, so yeah. And well, that wraps it up for the Deep Whisperer origin, another dimensional based origin that I believe is executed very well. Thanks again to Raid the Web for letting me review it. I really like the idea behind deep space and the fact that you can just stay there and gather resources and diamonds and all the rest. I'm a huge fan of that repair tool ability because you no longer need mending, and that's just brilliant. And so now let's just discuss how I feel about it in more detail, and I will be giving some constructive criticism. So the origin is fairly similar to some of the other dimensional based origins, and while some people say they're overdone and bad, I personally think that this implementation of it is very well done. The biomes in deep space and the advantages that you get there encourage you to stay and kind of build yourself up in deep space before you think about going to the overworld. And you also have your dark form, which I'm a big fan of. It's really just awesome to fly around as a ball of darkness. However, the drawbacks are a bit annoying, mostly referring to the harsh sun drawback. You already take consistent damage in the overworld, and adding burning and daylight kind of makes it super difficult to get anything done in the overworld. I'm not saying that it needs to be removed, however, I think a better way of implementing it would be that if you have a diamond or better helmet and you put it on, it will neglect the burning damage at the cost of durability over time. I think that'll give a decent mid-game goal for you to quickly get diamonds so you can make a helmet, so that you won't be bothered during the overworld. So I think that's a better way to do it, so that at some point you won't have to worry about burning in the sunlight, because that's really difficult to work with. And so with all of that in mind, I rate this a solid 7.3 out of 10. I think it has some charm, and the vibe that you get while playing this origin stays consistent, and it changed the gameplay enough so that you have to think things through, and that's always nice. Do you agree with this rating though? Let me know in the comments below. As always, special thanks to my channel members VHip, Sad, Butch, Salmon, Rain, Hollow, Ked, GamerGod, Void Uncreative, and Aster. You guys are awesome. That's enough for today though. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I have so many new plans for future content, potential collabs, and the like, and I really do appreciate you all for supporting me so much. This has been Saturn. Try and be a little bit more empathetic, and I hope to meet you again in the next one. See ya.